This episode is brought to you by the fabulous members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com.
He believes you. It's a miracle.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes he tells sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts for a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But do not want that.
Recognise that one?
No, but I liked it.
It's Tetris.
Oh, of course it was Tetris.
The jazzed up Tetris. Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast horror movie review. Bad language, excessive drinking and the occasional funny joke. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And this is the most interactive show you will find anywhere. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going with it. Every Monday, we review a horror movie chosen by you on our Instagram polls. We are at You Run Podcast if you want to go and vote in those. We kick things off with a short summary before sharing our thoughts and feelings on specific scenes and moments. We are opinionated. We reveal spoilers throughout the review. Later on, we have some interactive fun and frolics, a game, and check our voicemails and emails. If you want to get involved, it's at You Run Podcast on Instagram or X, where you can send us an audio DM and be involved in those very voicemails in a couple of weeks' time. It's like you send it, and then the next time you listen, you hear your own voice on the radio. It's cool.
Lovely.
Today, we were meant to be joined by BP of the Let's Talk Horror channel, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, BP has had to cancel his appearance here and also put his entire show on hiatus. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later because, it's sad news. And we'll have a chat through that later on in the show. But for now, Sister Cecilia has turned to Christianity after almost drowning in a frozen lake, convinced that God has saved her for a purpose. After joining a nunnery in her 20s, she mysteriously becomes pregnant and is instantly treated like the next Virgin Mary, because that, for people of faith, is obviously more believable than one of the priests shagging her. I don't know. Secret Labs. Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Secret Labs, Religious Jabs, and Sweeney's Baps are about to follow as we take a long, hard look at Religious Jurassic Park, also known as Immaculate. I have no idea what you thought of this movie, so I don't know where this week is going. Cool opening scene. I like this. Nun on the Run reminded me of Sister Act. I thought this was cool.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of bored of this fucking nunsploitation bullshit that keeps coming out. Like
nunsploitation.
Yeah, man, it is, innit? It's just fucking nuns in peril, man. It's just stupid. It's stupid. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of fucking exorcism movies. I'm not a fan of this kind of movie. Every time I watch this movie, I just think, what a waste of life you are fulfilling being a nun. Even more so, Sydney Sweeney being a nun. Now, that is a crime in itself. So yeah, no, I didn't have high hopes for this movie going in. I'll be honest with you. I was like, another one.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Like when this first came out, I reviewed this like straight after watching it, and I watched this in the cinema, and I come out of this buzzing because this is my wheelhouse. This is, let's take the Catholic faith and take the biggest dump we possibly can right on top of it and smear it all over it. Like, I'm all in for that in horror movies. So yeah, on a rewatch, I've got some slightly different views, but this opening scene where you get the nun goes and nicks the keys off the sister matron or whatever she is, and then she makes a run for it and gets to the gate. Like, these hooded figures come out, and I was like, oh yeah, they're going to drag her back in. No, the leg snap at
That
the
was cool.
beginning. Oh man, like brutal. And then like it fades to black, and then it fades back up with her with a lighter, and they've buried her alive. I'm like, oh, this is dark.
Yeah. But the thing is, as well, about that scene, she was like lighting matches. I was like, who's giving her matches? And also, you shouldn't light matches in that situation because it burns oxygen, which means you're running out of time and you're burning away your own lifespan. Yeah, I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
See, my mind went to CSI, which done this better. Have you seen there's a two-parter that was back in the day, directed by Quentin Tarantino, where one of
No.
the CSIs gets kidnapped and locked in a coffin underground. He's got a video feed. Those
Oh,
two
right,
episodes are genuinely terrifying and so much better done. Like, imagine this scene, but imagine 2 whole hours of a team knowing that their friend is trapped in a coffin and he can communicate with them, but he has no idea where that he is, and they don't know where he is. They're just slowly watching their friend die. It's full on Tarantino brilliance. It's great.
Isn't there Ryan Reynolds? Oh, it's called Buried, anyway. It's the Ryan Reynolds film where he gets buried in a coffin like this.
Yeah, not as good as the CSI. The CSI episode done the buried alive thing better than I've ever seen it done.
I think it is a genuinely terrifying thing to have to experience. But again, like, my mind was just like, stop burning matches. Stop burning matches. You don't have the oxygen to waste in this moment.
We meet Sister Cecilia, played by Sydney Sweeney. I am a straight man. Sydney Sweeney is an absolute goddess.
Do you know what really surprised me about this movie in particular? Is like, I thought Sydney Sweeney was sex on legs, which she is in many aspects. And I thought her popularity and her notoriety in current pop culture was purely based on her looks. But I was blown away by her performance in this film. I thought she was fucking incredible. And the range she shows throughout, she carries this movie entirely from start to finish.
Yeah.
And is easily one of the most engaging elements about this film. And that's not just because she's a very beautiful woman. It's just because she is a genuinely talented actress. And I didn't know that before watching this film.
Yeah, she's incredibly gifted. And in this, every range of emotion from when she first gets there of sheer joy through to fear, terror, anger, anguish, fucking rage at the end. Like, all of the emotions are shown, and everything she does in this is great. And like, I put a post up not that long ago about Sydney Sweeney, and everyone was bashing her, going, "Oh, she's only famous because she gets her boobs out." I'm like, no, she's actually.
I've not actually. Does she?
Yeah, in this movie.
I mean, well, no, she doesn't, though, does she really? I mean, she wears a fucking loincloth, and yeah, it gets wet from time to time, but she's not Sharon Stone. Do you know what I mean?
No, but she gets her tits out in most movies. That seems to be her go-to. And
can you send me a link for those after this episode? Just professional curiosity.
Yeah, no problem. And she even made a thing. She said she will never stop doing nude scenes in movies because she thinks they're important to tell a story. And God bless
which they
her.
are.
Yeah.
Which they, I, right. And this is the thing, right? Nudity is relevant.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying this as a bloke who likes seeing boobs, which I do.
No.
I'm fully in for like male nudity. No issue with a bloke whipping his cock out. Like, that doesn't bother me. If it fits the story and it works, yeah, I don't care if I see a cock.
No. And I'm the same. Not that I'm encouraging cock showing, but my point is like, I think nudity can be handled in a very tasteful way, and I think there is also the side of horror such as 90s slashers which doesn't handle nudity in a respectful way, but I feel like it's relevant to the story and the story that it's conveying. Then I feel like it's important. And I feel like when movies do shy away from it, it's kind of like, come on.
Yeah.
See a nip flip. Just see a side boob. Just see a little side boob, just for the lads.
Lads. Fucking hell. We're getting 100% cancelled.
Save your prayers. God is not here with us now. There is only the darkness here.
It's very true. she meets Sister Isabel, who is very polite when she first meets her, and then does this. You don't want to be here. You can't go down in the catacombs. Like, if I was you, I would leave. And I was a bit like, bit odd. And instantly you're like, there's something wrong with her. But Cecilia ignores her and takes her vows and gets given a magic necklace that all nuns get, the rosary beads. We get the Frozen Lake story, which is where the reason she's turned to God is she nearly drowned in a lake. They had to bring her back, and she saw that as God saved her for a purpose, and that purpose was to be a nun.
Bullshit. Call it bullshit.
God did not save you to be a nun.
No, he certainly. Can I just ask you, as a man of prior Catholic faith, the nun beads,
Yeah,
rosemary beads,
yeah.
when they pray, they touch
They
each
count.
one
They
individually.
count.
Yeah. What are they counting?
The amount of prayers.
So each bead on that necklace, they have to
Is
do a
an
prayer
individual.
for.
Yeah,
Fuck off! How do they get anything done?
they don't. They pray.
What a waste of life, man.
um, we get her Sister Cecilia sort of goes exploring. She has a little wander around, and we get the nun on the floor of the chapel with the red veil. And this is proper creepy. And I'm going to say it now because I don't have to keep saying it. This movie is laden with cheap, unbuilt and unwarranted jump scares, like here where she's coming in on the woman as the woman's like praying, and like I can't remember what they called. I should know this. Mother Superior touches her on the shoulder, and you get this fucking like loud piano. They're so cheap in this. I'll be honest. All the
They're
jump
not
scares
though.
got me, but they're
That's
not
the
well
thing.
built.
They're not cheap. They're not cheap. They're effective and they're genuinely impactful. It's the overuse. And it's the
Yeah,
overuse of them so early on that I found issue with. Like, I was really engaged in this movie from the start. And then we got the first jump scare. Then we got the second jump scare. And then we got another jump scare. And we get them all within quick succession within at least 20-minute period. I think we get like 15 minutes opening where we get character development and build and storyline development. Then we just have this segment of 20-minute jump scares.
yeah,
And it introduces things throughout these jump scares and these nightmare visions and things like that sort of build towards the plot development. But these jump scares are so in quick succession that they become predictable in the moments of tension where they're supposed to be relevant, which is what is a major flaw with overuse of jump scares, which is why I hate them. I think they have a purpose, and I think if they're used right, they can be relevant to the story. But here, they basically have a jump scare montage for about 20 minutes. All of them are great, which is what's annoying about it. All of them are fantastic, and each one of them is effective. But instead of sprinkling them out throughout the movie, we just get this rocky montage segment of jump scares for 20 minutes, and then we don't get them ever again throughout the film.
yeah.
So the moments where we're building to sheer terror and sheer importance, there is no more jump scares. It's just story development, build, 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 build. Jump scare would have been relevant here, but we're going to continue on further because they wasted them all in the first sort of 15, 20 minutes of this movie. And it's like, it just pissed me off, man. It pissed me off because they were good. They were good. As somebody who hates jump scares in horror movies and kicks off about them all the time, these ones were actually really effective. I felt myself every single time they happened being like, oh, fucking shit, fuck, oh, shit, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? No offense meant. But my point is like they were really, really good. So good to the point that I was annoyed by the fact that they just whitewashed us with them every single time. Like, boom, 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 jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. And it was like, why? Why not? If they'd have sprinkled them throughout, I mean, we get them in movies such as Insidious and the Conjuring franchise and the movie Woman in Black. That is a fucking perfect example of it. But here, they have fucking perfect uses of it, but they just give us them all in a quick succession. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
and yeah, it kind of highlights some of the story development points, but it doesn't really. It feels tonally unbalanced, because you get this steady wave of character development, then you get a moment of fucking hell, this movie's going to be absolutely wild. This is going to be wild. If this is what they're giving us now, holy shit, what is going to happen towards the back half of this movie?
Yeah, and it tails
But
off.
it tails off. It tails off, and that's why that's what annoyed me about it. Had they kept the momentum and increased it and increased it and got bigger and bigger and bigger and increased the tension, and to a point where it was boom, jump scare, increased the tension, boom, jump scare. It didn't. It just went Rocky montage. That's all we've got. Now back on with the story.
Yeah, and the thing is, I like the story in this. So where she meets Mother Superior explains that the nun is praying to an artifact they have, and that artifact is one of the nails that nailed Christ to the cross. If one of those actually existed, it would be the most coveted and most expensive artifact on the planet.
But it
without a
doesn't
shadow-
exist
No, it doesn't. It definitely
because
doesn't.
it's not real.
Yeah, for anyone who's a new listener who is of very, very strict religious faith, you're probably not going to like this. I'm a recovering Catholic, and Mark is a full-on atheist. So I've been down the faith road, got all the way to the end, and gone bullshit. And Mark's always thought bullshit. So we're both in the same place.
This nail of Jesus is about as real as Katy Perry going into space. Put it that way.
Yeah. Don't start on your conspiracy theories. We haven't got time. And it's as she touches this nail, she faints, and she faints, and then she's woken up. And she goes to confession, and I found this really fucking weird. So she goes in and she confesses whatever sin it is to the Holy Father, and then the Father sort of moves away and doesn't answer. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Why is she?
What, the confession part or the actual?
Yeah, like this whole little segment. I'm like, why is she not confessing? And then it turns out it's a dream. Like she's pulled into a hall, she's stabbed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is wild. And then she wakes up. I'm like, oh. I literally went,
because it was that cool montage of fucking jump scares. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then when it was a dream, I literally went, oh. That was my response.
I had the same reaction to this as what I did when I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, when I realised that the fucking hospital scene was a dream sequence. Yeah. I was like, oh. Like, do you know what I mean, though? Because, like, that opening of Halloween 2 is fucking awesome, and I will never, ever back down on that. That Halloween 2 hospital segment is the greatest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. As a Halloween fan, watching what Rob Zombie did with that fucking first 30 minutes of Halloween 2, and then boom, you get that blank screen, it's like Halloween 2, and fucking Laurie Strode wakes up and it was all a dream. I was like, oh, you've just ripped my soul from my body. That is what this movie did to me. I had the same sort of reaction when Immaculate did that to me.
Yeah, and I was kind of the same. Like, they try and pick it back up again, so you meet the creepy old lady. I quite like the creepy old lady. I hate old people in horror movies. I think they're one of the most underutilized scare tropes, because old people are genuinely scary. And like, she helps this old nun who scares the life out of her back to her room, and she gets her into her bed, and she notices she's got like the cross cut into her feet. And like that alone, like, there are people of certain faiths who will do shit like that to themselves to show their faith. And all that went through my head was,
I love feet.
Really?
No, I really don't. We get the first bathing scene, which is beautiful. There's no question about it. I don't know who decided to make Sydney Sweeney bathe in the thinnest white nightie and nothing else, but whoever that man was, he needs a raise. Like, the man in the production meeting, they're like, we're gonna get to bathe, we're gonna have this really big, thick cotton thing, because that's what they would have worn, and the bloke in the background with this see-through white negligee. I was thinking we could use this. Like, that man, give that man a high five. And we get morning sickness. This is where we start to get the idea that she is pregnant. She gets dragged in front of the cardinal. The cardinal, for some reason, there's lots of segments in this where they speak Latin, and it makes no fucking sense to speak Latin. Like, she speaks English, speak English to her, and it annoyed me.
I thought we were just speaking Italian.
Italian, Latin, the same thing.
They're not the same. Don't. I thought he was going to say, yeah, they're the same. They're not.
The same thing, kind of. Neither of them were
They're
in
not.
English. But whichever one they used, it required subtitles, which meant I had to read part of the movie. And this is where the Cardinal's like, have you had sex with anyone before you got here? She's like, no. He's like, have you had sex with anyone while you're here? She's like, no. It's like, it's the Immaculate Conception. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's your logic.
Yeah, man. I didn't pick up on any of this. I'll be honest with you. I watched this movie. I was under the assumption that she'd ran away from some sort of fucking domestic violence situation, and she'd gone in pregnant, not knowing.
No,
that was my vibe with this film all the way through, to the point where you text me like, "Yeah, it's just fucking Jurassic Park with nuns," and I was like, "What? What do you mean? I don't get the reference."
And from here they go, well, she is now the new Virgin Mary, and they dress her up like the picture we've got behind us. And in my notes, it just says, "What in the Game of Thrones bullshit is this?"
But it's just fucking Midsommar, man. And like Neon as a production company who made this movie,
yeah,
have such potential. They do. I've seen a lot of Neon horror movies, and I think 60-70% of them are fantastic. But the problem, Neon, if you're listening, which I know you are, we're a very big deal right now. If you're listening to this show, stop trying to replicate A24. All right?
yeah,
Because you don't need to. You don't need to try and make every single movie you do an A24 movie, because you can be your own thing. And that is what we encourage. And that is, as horror fans, we want to see. So stop trying to be A24. Stay in your own lane. That's kind of all I have for my rant. But yeah.
You done? Okay. This is where things get really weird. So she starts to get quite heavily pregnant, and we get another bathing scene where she does a full float on her back, like starfish moment in this pool. And this is where Sister Isabella comes along and fucking ruins it by trying to drown her. And I'm like,
is this the same ginger bitch who tried to deter her away from the nunnery at the beginning?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Like,
what's her deal? What's her vibe?
Well, I'm just about to explain. She tries to kill her. And at this point, I'm going like, why are you doing that? I don't understand why you're doing that. And she gets dragged away. And as she's being dragged away, she's screaming and shouting that it should have been her, and they need to try again. And I'm like, what? And I was like, I
didn't pay much attention to this film.
And I was like, does that mean like one of the priests is like shagging him? Like that's where I went with it. The priest dude with long hair is an absolute bellend as well.
Is this the main priest dude?
Yeah, the guy with long hair, the one who later on traps her. Like, he's a dick all the way through this movie.
Does he have? He doesn't have long hair, does he?
Well, he kind of has like this weird mullet thing going on and a beard.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I like him as an actor. I think he's fantastic in this film.
Yeah, character-wise,
and I think it's character-wise, he's a dick. Yeah, but I thought he was a very good actor. I thought him and Sydney, between the two of them, carried the entire film, to be honest with you. And that's the thing, you mentioned about old people earlier. There's so many characters in this film that are just so mediocre and so minute in terms of plot progression. Yet they focus a lot of time on trying to develop people that nobody really gives a shit about. And I know they need to be there, and I know it's important that they are there. But yeah, I felt a lot of the characters in this film were so wasted, and more could have been done with them. Like the girl, who I don't know if this is true, but she looks like the girl from The Witcher.
Yeah,
have you seen The Witcher?
Yeah, I don't think it's the same woman. I know who you mean.
Oh, I know exactly. It's not the same woman, but they look the same. That's where I'm going with it. So the girl from The Witcher, like, she had a really cool sort of like side plot story going on, and they spend a lot of time focusing on her throughout this film. And then all of a sudden, she's just not. She's just not. She's just not there, and it's like, oh well, why? Like, that was cool.
It's not she's just not there. She's taken away and brutally killed and murdered in front of Sydney Sweeney.
Well, she's not. They just cut her tongue out to silence her for speaking up. You know, so like those two could have come together at the end, you know, and been like.
Well, they do come together at the end. She finds her body down in the catacombs as she tries to escape after they killed her.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that. they spent so much time focusing on her character, and there's so much misunderstood sort of development regarding her that they build up. And it's like, oh, she's real silent, she's real pissed off, she's come from a troubled past. And we're invested in that. And it's like, what's her damage? What's her deal? Why is she there? Because she's not like Sydney Sweeney, where she's full faith. She's a runaway. And it's like, why? Why is she a runaway? It's got to be relevant to the story of why they wouldn't spend so much time focusing upon it.
Yeah,
but then they don't.
Yeah, and exactly the same with Isabella, the girl who tries to drown her. Like, in a couple of minutes after this, she throws herself off the roof. And, like, again, like, I need more development of that character to understand why she cared so much that she wasn't getting another shot, that she'd done that.
Well, she didn't. She was pushed. She was clearly thrown off the roof. She was murdered. But my point is you're right. She should have been more developed. There should have been a scene that showcased she wasn't. And I get they're alluding to this big fucking twist ending and climactic thing. But I got to the end. I saw the end of this movie. And it didn't justify the not explaining these characters throughout, in my opinion. So, like, I would have preferred to see a cutaway here to somebody throwing her off the roof and explaining why, because she was a disturbance. Why they decided to do that. I would like to see more of her backstory as to why she was the one that was prior to Sydney Sweeney as a chosen one, but she failed. And that's why she was bitter. These elements were missing throughout this movie, and they were going for it being so elusive to have this big grandeur at the end. And it weren't there. It just didn't come to fruition.
No, there's a couple of bits in this movie that I thought were really clever and I was really invested in, like the faked miscarriage, where she's there and she's lying in blood and she starts screaming and the matron comes like, oh my God, there's blood everywhere. And that they rush her off to the hospital because they've refused to let her see a doctor. And then after she's gone, the like sister mother's going, there's a feather there. Why is there a feather there? And then she looks under the bed and there's a dead chicken where she's killed a chicken to basically get out of the convent. Like this moment where she rings the priest who's taking her to the hospital to go, it's a fucking scam. Like, I really liked this escape, and I was really like, when she gets out of that car and she runs, I was like, fucking run, do not stop. And I was fully invested. And when they caught her, I was like, oh man, it's going to be so bad for you now. And it was, because the next thing she's strapped to a bed, like, you will stay here now till you give birth. It's
well,
awful.
They shower her first.
They do shower her, and I have a song all about that shower.
I want to see your titty breasts. Can you please pull them out?
I just want to clarify, I have no involvement in soundbites on this show.
Anyway, yeah, it's an awful scene, but I did thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, I really like the build up to that as well. I like the scenes in the car. I like the escape plan and stuff like that. It gives me real kind of Omen vibes.
Very,
like the
very
gritty, like the gritty sort of European horror kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. I did like that a lot. And that's the thing as well. Like, this movie itself is just visually amazing. A lot of it's filmed in Rome, and quite a lot of it's filmed within the Vatican City, and all the stuff that we see later on in the catacombs is actually in the Rome catacombs. It visually looks fantastic. And the cinematographer, Elise Dickens, I think I remember her name being, fantastic cinematographer. Visually, this movie is fucking delightful to watch.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And that's what annoyed me so much, I think, is just everything was so right.
Yeah.
It was just so wrong at the same time.
I love the reveal. I still don't quite understand how you missed the reveal, but the reveal of
DNA,
like where he explains to her that we have this rusty nail from when Jesus died, and on here is Jesus's blood. So if you look at all these embryos and all these fetuses in these jars, we've been trying for the last 20 years to get an embryo to take, and we now have, and that's you. So you are going to give birth to the next savior. And then this is...
See, I just thought it was like a delusional thing.
No,
because that is what the
Yeah.
church is. Do you know what I mean? So that's my mindset is delusion. You're all fucking idiots. So like when I'm going into it, I'm like, she came in pregnant before, and these guys are all just fucking wildly delusional because she lied when she was asked had she had sex prior.
yeah, no,
So I'm
it's
like,
just,
she has had sex, but they're all just under this mass illusion that she is the saving grace and the Virgin Mary, and
no,
they're all just rolling with the times of it.
it's just dino DNA. I what
Yeah, I
I
mean, now you say it like that, I obviously get
Yeah.
it. Do you know what I mean? But that was where
Yeah.
my mindset was just like, no, there's going to be something more grounded than what they're actually trying to present to me.
No, see where it fell apart for me. So they've got this woman who's finally, after 20 years, they've managed to get a baby to take, and she's now in her third, or nearly in her third trimester. And what they do next is distress the mother and distress the baby by branding her feet with the sign of the cross.
That's a church for you.
Like, what the fuck? At what point in your experiment is it a good idea to put the mother and baby through that much stress? I just like, you've gone to all this effort and now you're potentially killing the baby through stress. Like, what's
Which
your
is
problem?
possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
would happen. I I don't know. This movie just fucking takes so many wild leaps, man. I mean, I get it. I get it in terms of atmosphere and what they're trying to convey, but like, no,
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't.
love. See, I love the God discussion. So there's a bit where her nails coming off, and she pulls it right off, and she has a conversation with the priest, and she's like, "This is not the will of God." And the priest steps in and goes, "Well, if it's not the will of God, why has he not struck me down? Why has he not stepped in and saved you?" And those sort of conversations I absolutely love. This battle of like arguing faith, like that, I think is brilliant. And they don't do enough of it. They could have done that so much throughout this movie and made me really question like who's in the right here.
Yeah,
But
but
they
in
just,
that instance, so in that conversation, clearly it's because God doesn't exist.
yeah, for you
So,
and me,
because regardless of your faith, He's not going to smite you down because you're just a horrible human being. So
yeah, because
it doesn't justify your actions for being a fucking narcissistic arsehole because you're like, well, I can do it because if it was wrong, then God would smite me down. It's
God
like,
would stop
fuck
me.
you and fuck your cross, like that doesn't justify your actions, you know what I mean? And that's why priests fiddle little boys because they think that they can get away with it because God doesn't smite them down.
Well, which then takes us on to Sydney Sweeney smiting down a nun with a cross, which I
Oh,
took
I fucking love this.
like she hits her with the cross, this massive metal cross to knock her down. And I was like, oh, good, run, run. And she didn't run. I'm like, why are you not running? And then she brutally beats her to death with the cross. I'm like, well, do you know what? Fair play to you.
I loved it. I loved the way it was conveyed. The actress who played the older lady as well, when she took that initial impact, you just felt that sheer, not panic and shock. It was just the shock. The
Yeah.
shock set in immediately. She didn't know what had happened. She pulled off her head veil. She felt the blood, and she was just so dumbfounded and confused by the situation. And then, whoosh, second whack, knocked her to the floor and just repeatedly beating her with a cross. I was like, fuck, this is amazing. And then she goes full John Wick after this and just starts wiping everybody out. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, this is awesome.
She takes someone out with a set of rosary beads in like a proper like
the
fucking
proper priest, the priest from the confessional. Yeah, she just
Yeah.
wipes him out with a rosary bead. Like, that is fucking awesome. So cool.
I like this, and they up the tension here as well because in the midst of her like full-on fucking Lara Croft escape through the catacombs moment, she goes into labor, and when she went into labor, I was like, "Oh no, not now!" Like of all the time, like, wait till you get outside, but like now, and she's fighting all these people off during labor pains, and I'm like, "You're an absolute machine! Like you're an absolute hero." I like this whole escape, like the run through the catacombs, like setting them all on fire, and she finds Gwen's body and she goes to climb out and she gets dragged back in by the arsehole priest. This attempted like forced C-section. Oh mate, I was like, no, 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 no. And like you can see the baby moving as he's trying to put the love. I'm like, oh, just don't. And the poeticness of her stabbing him in the neck with the rusty nail of Christ that she stole earlier, I was like, yeah,
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 yeah, and again, the makeup effects on this dude look fucking incredible, man.
really
So his
good.
burnt face, and again, the practical effects earlier on with the ginger psycho jumped off the roof or was pushed off the roof. The reveal of her when they turned the body over was so fucking good, man. That was like Terrifier level stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I was blindsided by it. I was like, oh, holy shit,
Yeah,
and it looked fantastic.
there's lots of moments that do that as well. And like the ending scene to this movie is it's rough. I'm not gonna lie. She gets out and she gives birth.
Mm.
She chews through her umbilical cord, which
Ah, savage.
I know back in like cavemen time, I'm sure we done that, but like to watch it on screen, I was like, oh. And then you see her stumble away from the baby. I'm going, what are you doing? Why have you picked up a rock? No, 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 you're not going to. And she full on crushes the baby with a rock at the end of the
Mm.
movie. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, I didn't see that coming. And when it happened, like these sort of movies, we've done a few of them now. Every single time they're like, I can raise the baby, I can raise it, the baby will be good. Like, not in this movie, like, no, baby die. And I was like, wow, that's dark.
Mm. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, for me, like in this particular scene, fucking Sydney Sweeney, man. Oh my God. Like, she was mesmerizing the whole time she carried out this movie. This scene in particular, I was like, wow, you
Yeah,
are a talent. You are a force of nature, the way that you convey this, the way you are doing. Um, but her performance aside, the reason I'm justifying her performance is because I think this fucking ending is terrible. She was amazing and everything she did was fantastic. But all this build up and all this justification throughout the entire movie was wasted because, in my opinion, this is a basic abduction movie.
yeah,
And it ends in a basic abduction movie way. The same way that if. How do you. Right. When you watch an abduction movie and somebody has been raped, I don't know why I hesitated on the conversation of rape, like I'm the fucking antagonist in the situation. In a movie like that where somebody is abducted, they are raped, they are impregnated by somebody who is a rapist, they
yeah,
finally escape their freedom, they're so traumatized by their situation that they kill the unborn or
yeah,
whatever. That's how this movie plays out.
yeah, very much so.
Exactly so. And
Yeah,
for me, I was just expecting more. Do you know what I mean? I was expecting something so grandeur at the end to the point where, like, would justify the second coming of Christ. Do you know? But it doesn't. It doesn't do
no,
that. And it was so wasted. And I'm not talking like I wanted Cabin of the Woods level giant hand breaking out from the earth to destroy mankind. But I feel like some sort of
just a sign that you've
just a
done something.
sign, just
Yeah,
yeah, right, just
just
just a
yeah.
sign would have been
So,
enough.
so they went down
Do you
the
know him coming
scientific route.
out and just turning
Yeah,
fucking water into wine? Do you know would have been enough for me, but
yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah. Just that little bit, and like if the baby was out and the baby's in the puddle, it puts its hand in the puddle, and the puddle turns to wine. Then she crushes it. That's like, oh shit! You actually did kill
Yes,
the second
yes,
coming of Christ. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yes. Just,
I'm with
just
you.
the suggestion. All they needed was a suggestion, and they
Yeah,
didn't. But for me,
no,
like that's like, what's the point then? Do you know? And it's like
yeah,
it's not even in a position where it was like they could have been really creative with it to a way where you could have been like, was it or wasn't it? Which would have been amazing because that would have really amped up the movie to the point where we walked away from it second guessing everything. Or they could
yeah,
have just been really blatant with it and like it genuinely was. And this is
yeah,
how she fucking carried out her actions. But they
yeah.
didn't. They didn't do
And
anything like that.
I like that idea. I like the fact of making it more ambiguous. I think that would be a good way to go. Well, should we do recommended account?
No, because I'm not ready and I also need to go for a week. So let's do timeout first. And I'll
Okay.
come back with recommended account of the week.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, when we do timeout, we just pause, and in a second, Mark will magically be back. And just like magic, we're back, and Mark has a much more empty bladder. Anyway, recommended account of the
Hear
week.
me out, chat. Nudes where all you see are tits? Boo. Nudes where you see the inside of a person's body? Ding!
Love that.
Don't even
so
ask where I got that.
I don't even want to know. So this week's recommended account is Printwave UK. You can find them on Instagram because I'm a dinosaur and that's the only place I go to. Printwave UK is an account that specializes in posters and, well, posters is pretty much all I can really say about the account. I saw them follow me. I saw some of their posts. I liked one of their posts. One of them was a Halloween print that they'd done. I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. They reached out to me. It was like, hey, man, yeah, I'll fucking do your discount. I'll do this, I'll do that. The same old spiel. You know, you've all seen them on Instagram and all the rest of it.
So now you
And I was
have
like,
11 posters.
so now I have 11 posters and I am now part of a gang. No. No, but the guy reached out to me. He's like, cheers, man. Appreciate you liking my stuff. I can do you some sort of stuff if you post it on your thing. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who's like, hey, send me your shit and I'll fucking advertise it on my account. I'm not that guy. But like, he was like, I was like, no, dude, that's not the case. I genuinely like your stuff. I think your stuff's really creative. I would like to see a Dawn of the Dead one. That'd be cool. I'd like to see a Candyman one. Could you make one of those for me? I have like 4 prints on the way. They're all coming. I think this guy's great. By the time this episode comes out, I will have had those prints. You can probably go onto my Instagram account and see the stuff that I bought from this dude. Very talented guy. His artwork's amazing. And I think if you're a horror fan or a movie fan in general, certainly go and ask him for some recommendations or some requests because he will make anything you want. Gaming, music, anything you like.
Cool.
He can sort of specialize in it. But his artwork's really fucking cool, man. And I don't do this very often for people and be like, go see this account because of this. Go see this because I've just bought this. But it is genuinely like, wow, like that's amazing. How are you not as big as you should be? So I bought, what did I buy? So I first saw his Halloween one. I was like, that's fucking awesome. He's like, oh, I can send you it, man. Just all the rest of it, share it, like it, and all this. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. Could you possibly do me a Dawn of the Dead one? Which he mocked up a design for me. Fucking awesome. I was like, well, if I'm going to take that, then I really need to have like 4 to make a feature wall. Could you do me a Candyman one to go with it? Fucking awesome. The Candyman one he made for me. All of the ones on his profile at the moment, the Michael Myers one, the Dawn of the Dead one, the Candyman one. I think I requested a Goosebumps one and a Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Okay.
I think there were that was the direction I went with the design I had for what I wanted on my wall. So if you go on his Instagram account, you'll be able to see the ones that he's made for me. And it'll give you an idea of what he could possibly do for you if you have specifications of what kind of posters you would like doing. But yeah, check him out. Printwave UK. I'm saying a he like he is a he. I don't know. I'm calling him mate on DM. So as far as I'm aware, he's just mate. But yeah, the work they're doing at the moment is incredible. And I think a lot of people who listen to this show would really, really enjoy the material that he's putting out.
So what's that account again?
Printwave UK.
At Printwave UK.
Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Marc J. Parker, and this is Release Date Rewind.
Anniversary in cinema is a huge thing, and Release Date Rewind understand that better than anyone else, as Marc brings guests on his show to celebrate anniversaries of movies, be it 25 years, 35 years, or 40 years. Release Date Rewind is there to cover them all.
That's going to be a very wonderful episode with Okay the Horror Night.
Movies, TV series, video games, deep dive discussions, creator spotlights. LK the Horror Nerd brings so much to the world of horror. This is a show that covers absolutely everything you could ever want, so make sure you check them out. These shows and many more are all members of the You Run Podcast Network, available at yourunpodcast.com. Your home of horror entertainment. It is the home of horror entertainment. Make sure you go and check out Mark's recommended account of the week and all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network at yourunpodcast.com. On our website, you'll also find links to all of our social media, like literally at the top. Click on whichever one you use and it will take us there, or whatever one you're on, search at You Run Podcast and you'll find us. If you're on Instagram and you like movie reviews, follow at Reviews from the Crypt. That's where Mark reviews movies. It's kind of, Reviews from the Crypt. Should be Reviews from the Marc, but hey, we'll stick with it. And if you like VHS tapes, Mark now has a collection that is getting to a point that is fucking unrivaled. Some of the stacks you've done recently with the lights and the TV behind, like the TV with the fire and the hat, like some of the ones you've done recently, you are really up in your fucking game, man. Really,
I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone with my account at the moment. I like. Do you know what the thing is? It's a passion, mate. It's a passion, and I think that's what's driving me more with that account at the moment than anything else. Is because I genuinely fucking love it.
Yeah, it shows. And if you like that sort of thing, at VHS from the Crypt, and you will have so much more envy than you've ever had before looking at that account. You can also get in touch with us, send an audio DM. You can do that on Instagram or X. Go to where you send a DM. There's a microphone button. Push and hold it down. Speak. We'll play your messages on the air. Or send us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, and I know recently there's been loads of people asking how they can support us. It's really easy. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, or go to our shop, yourunpodcast.com, click on the shop icon and buy something, and that puts a little bit of something in our pockets. It's not much, but every little helps. And but beers, Friday beers.
Friday beers.
I mentioned at the top of the show that we were meant to be joined by BP. So BP had some terrible news recently that his landlord is selling his house and he's not in a position to put a deposit together to get another place. Like the rental market in the UK is fucking horrific. And because of this, he had to cancel on us while he's trying to get things together and sell stuff to get money together. And it also meant he put his own show on hiatus. Now, from me and Mark, we're sending all the good luck in the world to BP and to his family. Like, BP is a fabulous guy. Like, not only did he create a show that I listen to religiously, I love BP's podcasts, but he also contributes so much to the wider community. He does a live Saturday morning thing on YouTube. He does constant lives on Instagram where he's doing quizzes, and he does games, and he does reviews, and he does so much that actually bring people together. And I really gutted to see him go, even if it's only for a short time. So I'm asking a favor of everybody. Can you spend a couple of minutes, go and follow at Let's Talk Horror channel on whatever social you're on, go and like his podcast, go and give him a review. Make sure that BP has no excuse when he's sorted the stuff he's got going on and he's back in somewhere, that he opens up his Instagram again, because he's still active, he's still around. When he opens it up, he goes, fuck, I need to come back, because BP needs to come back, because the horror community is a sadder place without him in it.
Yeah.
It really is. BP, this is to you personally. Get your shit sorted out, because you owe us an episode, and I am going to cash it in. Like, you owe it. You cancelled. I am going to get you back on the show. We want you back here, because every time you come, it's an absolute whale of a time. So BP, all the best, and we will see you very, very soon. No excuses.
Definitely not. Definitely not. He's a fun guy, man. He's a fun guy. Like, I enjoy his presence. He makes me feel happy when he's around, you know. And it's a shame the strides obviously he's going through at the moment. But I do wish him all the best, and I hope that he comes out of it better, stronger than ever, and we'll all be here waiting, ready for it.
Like, none of this stuff's going away, BP. When you come back, it'll be like you've never left, and everyone's going to welcome you with open arms. Us first, though. No guest spots before us. I'm calling it now. We get dibs. Shall we do some facts?
Yeah, please.
Look at that titty, though.
So,
why are we so titty-eccentric tonight?
Did you watch the movie? Like,
I did. I'm just trying to be the better person.
Yeah, I'm really not. I'm fully invested in the boobage in this movie. Sydney Sweeney first,
Boobage.
yeah.
I haven't heard boobage since I was 16. That is fucking awesome.
And I said cool beans to you.
You
in
did
a
say
message
cool
earlier.
beans to me earlier.
Bringing it all back.
I'm bringing back boobage and cool beans.
Yeah, it's a thing now. Sydney Sweeney first auditioned for this in 2014 when she was 17, but the production never happened. Now, years later, she got in a position where she had a big chunk of money and she wanted to do this movie. So she took on the role of the producer, reached out to a writer, bought the rights to the script, had it rewritten, then hired a director, found finances, and then sold the film to Neon after financing and making the whole fucking thing herself. And that is commendable.
That's fucking awesome.
Really,
I did not know that, and that is amazing.
Yeah, and once I found that out, it puts a different spin on this. Like, this is a passion project for her, and I think it was just to showcase what she can do, and she done a great job of doing it.
Yeah.
Her grandmothers are in this movie, both of them. So they appear in the church scene when she goes in initially, and she's being like made a nun. They're sat in the front row next to Mother Superior. And they're also in a scene earlier in the church. They're two of the nuns. So she wrote her grandmothers in to, can you come play a nun, Nan, please? Like, again, I love things like that. It's like so stupid, but like cool.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Both this movie and The First Omen have almost an identical plot. One taking the scientific route, which is this one, The First Omen, going very much the demonic route. They were released within weeks of each other. And honestly, there's really not much in it. Like story-wise, replace Jurassic Park with Demon, it's the same movie. Even down to...
I got Omen vibes throughout this entire film.
Yeah. There is one mistake in this, and it's a big mistake. So Cecilia tells the story of when she drowned as a child in the frozen lake. And she says she was unconscious and starved of oxygen for 7 minutes. If you're starved of oxygen for 7 minutes, you actually end up severely brain damaged, which she's clearly not in this movie.
No.
So that's it for facts, because honestly, there's not a lot there. We have got a lot of, well, I say we got a lot. We got a few voicemails. Would you like a voicemail?
Are they nice?
No one's attacking us this week. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Dave B Movies was the first to ring us this week. When it plays.
Hell, I'm just finishing off the Cuckoo episode podcast, and I did enjoy Cuckoo, but I had to look back at my review to see what I actually thought of it, because I'd forgotten about it, and in the States, it kept me on the edge of my seats, and I needed to rewatch because I believe I missed a lot, but it was entertaining enough at that time. But that's not why I'm calling today. It's like, Mark, you gotta stop talking about your childhood. It's like, man, you make me sound really, really old. I remember every single program you mentioned, but not because I watched it, because my stepchildren did. On that bombshell, laters.
First of all, Dave, I've told you this once, and I'm going to tell you it again. Stop going down to the fucking beach when you record your messages for this show. We can hear seagulls. We can hear the ocean. We can hear everything apart from you when you record these messages. Just fucking stay at home if you've got something to say. But also at the same time, you are a lot older than me, so yeah.
Wow. Hate for that. That's just nasty.
No,
Dave,
no hate is meant.
Dave,
we're a professional establishment. You know what I mean? We all have microphones. Do you know what I mean? Just don't go to the most windiest location you can find and think, "Oh, I'm going to send a message to the boys." You know.
Harsh. Also, you stop bringing up things from your child, because even me, like, there's not that much of a gap between us, and even me, when you're like, "Oh yeah, biker mice from Mars," I'm like, "What the fuck are you on about? What are you talking about?" So stop it.
You know what biker mice from Mars are, man.
Only because my little sister watched it.
Oh, dude, you missed out on a treat. Biker Mice from Mars was like the greatest thing ever. Like seriously, people talk about Ninja Turtles. Fuck the Ninja Turtles, man. The Biker Mice from Mars. Yeah, that was the shit.
I'm going to watch an episode with Jack. I'll report back.
Oh, dude, it will change your life. It will change your life. I promise you.
Speaking of changing life, Heather has not called for a little while because Heather's been recovering from the surgery she had to give birth to her daughter. She is now fully recovered, so I feel safe in the knowledge that I can say we now have a message from Texas Twilight. And yeah, she could do with that what she wants. So Heather, you are Texas Twilight again because you've recovered. So I'm going to stop being nice and just go back to being your friend, how I was before.
Happy Monday, guys. I just listened to the Return of the Living Dead episode. I give it a 12 out of 10 because the movie is fucking fire. It's bussin', as the kids say. No cap. Anyways, I loved it. I love that movie. It was a few years back that I got to actually meet Tom Matthews for the second time, Linnea Quigley, and Miguel A. Nunez Jr., who played Spider. They were all fantastic. I met them actually it was 2 different conventions, but anyways, got to meet them, and they were great. Tom Matthews is, God bless America and the UK. He was so fine back then. Whew, he can get it. He's still very nice looking. He's much older, but he's nice looking. Anyhow, the episode was great. I'm so proud of all the work that you both have accomplished. Scott, I know you. I can't believe that it's like not 5,000 episodes and only 200. But either way, I'm glad that I get to work with you guys. And I'm glad that we've had a friendship all these years. It's awesome. One day I might come to the UK, but the way that planes be crashing nowadays, I don't know, y'all. I'm going to have to go by boat. I don't know if I'll ever get to physically meet you guys. But let me just say, the UK is on my bucket list. But I don't know about a plane right now. There's too many fucking plane crashes. Anyhow, I hope you guys are having a good evening. And I'm still alive. You know, I'm just busy with fucking mom shit and a newborn that's a stage 1,000 clinger. She doesn't let me put her down. And a toddler who is obsessed with fucking Blippi. I don't know that you know what the show is, but it's stupid. Anyways,
do know Blippi.
Love you guys, and congratulations on 200 episodes. Bye, bitches.
That is the nicest episode, nicest message we've ever had from Heather.
I know. She's really loving and really nice, and thank you, Heather.
Yeah.
And, as for Blippi,
So much to learn about. It'll make you want to shout, Blippi!
yes.
I've never seen Blippi.
All I'm going to say to you, Heather, is go and Google the guy who plays Blippi, and just Google what did Blippi do before Blippi was Blippi, and then call in once you've had that realization of how he became famous.
Wow, what did he do?
I don't want to give it away. I'll tell you off air, but it is fucking wild that he now does a TV show for children, because what he done before was not aimed at children at all.
What, we're talking like Jimmy Savile level stuff, or?
No, but really gross. Like, think Steve-O levels of degraded, disgusting shit, and you're kind of there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I can tolerate that.
Yeah, so yeah, we know who Blippi is. We have suffered Blippi too. Blippi will be a phase that will last, I don't know, 18 months, maybe 2 years. So settle into Blippi. There's lots of Blippi. We have one more message before we rock on.
Hi guys, I'm just wrapping up your 2000th episode. It's fantastic. It's been great fun. And for the first time ever, I nailed the quiz, all 10 right without any clues. It was made even sweeter by the fact that Marc was being such a little bitch for not knowing basic horror questions. Laters.
Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, Dave. It's nice to see you in a nice, quiet environment, but also, where's your fucking where's your audience, man? Where's your audience?
Do
you got 10 questions right out of 10. Prove it. Prove it, motherfucker. Come to me on my 200th episode when I've been busting a bollock with a quiz that Scott presented to me and tell me you get 10 out of 10. Fuck you, Dave. Fuck you, Dave.
When Dave sent me that message, I was in a Teams call and I laughed out loud because I had my headphones for my phone and I'm on a Teams call, not with my headphones on. I'm playing it in my ear and I've gone, and everyone in the Teams
Yeah.
call looked at me. I was like, oh. Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. Well, where's your proof, mate? Where's your proof? It's coincidental. Like you got 10 out of 10 when there's no one there to hear it. How about you come on the show? How about you come on here and step to the man? Do the quiz. Do the quiz, Dave. Let's see what you've got.
Do you know, it's funny you bring that up because you know nothing about this, but it's great you've brought that up because one of our first ever Patreon episodes, when our Patreon launches later this year, is going to be a quiz only episode where we bring on all these people, and there's lots of them over the years who've called in, go, I could beat that quiz, I could do that quiz, I could do that. We're going to get them all on one episode and we're going to give them all the quiz. It's going to be a quiz episode and see if anyone can break Broken Spirit. But that's coming.
Yeah.
Further
Yeah,
down
let's
the
see how
line.
fucking loud you are now, Dave.
We also
you,
had an
man.
email this week, which we never get. This is from Newman, Movies for Days. Wonderful podcast, wonderful guy, a member of the You Run Podcast Network. He put, ahoy, lads. In your recent episode covering The Mummy, you mentioned how much you liked the work of actor John Hannah, who plays Jonathan. I wanted to shout out a recommendation of a wonderful performance he gives in Four Weddings and a Funeral. It's possibly his best work. This film, in my opinion, is also the best British romantic comedy ever made, as long as you exclude Shaun of the Dead, of course. Yeah, I like.
I can't argue with it. I can't argue with that statement.
We're going to play a game. I'll be honest, it's a shit game this week. I don't know what I was thinking when I put it together, but
they're always the best ones, though.
But yeah, but before we play our game, we're going to do something else, which is called "What Is She Praying For?" It was a new feature that I tried. We put this picture up and just simply ask, "What is she praying for?" Wrong answers only. I had faith that you guys would keep it nice, keep it clean, and not take it to pervy places.
No, you didn't.
I
knew exactly where this was going to go.
My faith was incredibly misguided. Lone Wolf went with, she's praying for her chest to get as big as Sydney's. They're a horror movie fanatic. Randomly, Eric, she's praying that Sister Cecilia wears that white gown to the bath again. That's Eric, wonderful book account. Dave B. Movies, she's praying to be a meat... I can't even say it. She's praying to be the meat between a Marc and Scott sandwich.
No. Do you know what? No. Initially, it was a good idea, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, no.
Yeah, I'm not down for high fiving. It's not happening.
No.
Dissect That Film, another great movie podcast, went with she's praying to hook up with the newest nun. So everyone kind of went the same route until we got to Imitation Dave and Creature Pod, who went a completely different route. Imitation Dave went with, she is praying that they never make another Madam Web movie ever. Probably. And Creature Pod just resonates, this chunky Larry resonates with everything Marc lives and breathes. She is praying that horror lays the fuck off religious horror and evil pregnancy stories for the foreseeable future.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. Now we're going to play a game called So Nuns Don't.
It sounds so shit before we've even started.
It is shit. It was a really good concept, but then I struggled with it. So when I was putting this episode together...
Right, well, walk us through your concept.
Yeah, so when I was putting this together, I went and I was reading lots of articles on nuns, and I'll be honest, I was fact-checking stuff in the movie that they done, because I was like, is that real? I don't think nuns do that. And I found a really cool article, which was all about strange encounters people have had with nuns in their life, where nuns have done things that nuns just don't do. So I've got two of these stories that are real, and these are things that people have witnessed nuns doing. One of these stories I have made up, and nuns never do this.
Right.
And tell me which one of these stories is the lie, and which one are real stories about nuns.
Okay. I think I get the ground rules.
I'll be honest. When I read these stories, it's like, no fucking way a nun done that. But they had images with them. I was like, okay, maybe a nun did. So the first one, nuns used to regularly attend the gun range that I worked at when I was a teenager. One of the nuns had a 357 Magnum, and Mother Superior would regularly rent an AR-15 and let loose on the range. So that's story number one. Story number two, nuns love men. When I worked with a few of them a few years ago doing some refurbishment work, I would often have nuns of all ages stroke my arm and pinch my ass. When the young priest arrived, it was like John Lennon walked in the room, and they would all swarm him. I seriously doubt the vow of celibacy was adhered to in this convent.
Nah,
Number three, I once was hired by a nunnery to teach nuns martial arts. Imagine my shock when I found out that many of the nuns are well versed in martial arts due to their excessive free time, and they've often been self-studying shortly after joining. Many of the convents invite external instructors like me as a way to keep the nuns safe when they're out and about, but also to keep them in good physical health. Which one of those stories did I make up?
how much free time do you have?
Not enough, which is why this game's shit. Like
No, but like the point is like every single one of those stories you read with such validity that you sounded like a news reporter, to the point where I'm like, actually, I don't know how convincing any of them are. Usually, I'm like, shit, that's pretty obvious. But like,
normally you're like, well, the one where you said the nun flops her boobs out, that's the lie, Scott. It's because I've made them all, they're all kind of like possible.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the one with no, because I feel like the one with the nuns with guns is legit. I also feel like karate nuns is legit as well. Like they've got a lot of free time.
A nun with an AR-15 is like the best image in my head.
But I feel like I could believe it. I feel like I could believe nuns with guns. I don't know if that's just because I've seen a movie called Nuns with Guns.
Nuns with guns.
Oh, because shit, man. No, I'm gonna say Nuns with Guns is fake.
Nuns with Guns is real. Would you like to take another guess?
Karate Nuns is real.
Is real or fake?
No, real.
Karate Nuns is not. Karate Nuns is the one I made up. Nuns pinching builders' asses is real.
That's the one I was like, nah, surely not.
No, so apparently somewhere in the Midwest of America, there's a convent with lots of horny nuns that touch up priests and contractors, which, hey.
Do you have an address by any chance?
What, just for research purposes?
No, research purposes only. I'm just research purposes only.
I'm going to let you round this up. And by popular demand, and it is genuinely popular demand, I got asked to bring back a soundbite to stop you if you go too far.
Fuck. Right. Okay. Tell me where to go. Go. Right. For me, I think, mate, this is like fucking supermarket sweep. I feel so much pressure.
Don't feel pressure. You just go, and I'll let you know when.
Oh, that's right. So it's okay. It's not actually a timer. It's a case of when you feel like you've had enough.
Yeah,
is that how this is working?
Yeah.
Don't use the audience as a fucking scapegoat. When you get pissed off by my roundup.
Genuinely, someone commented when we done it before that that's the funniest shit I've ever heard. You need to do that again.
Yeah, but the pressure now is so overwhelming. Right.
Just make it cool, make it interesting. If I get bored, I'll hit the button.
Fuck off, man. You don't deserve that level of power. That's not fair. If you're going to have that kind of power, then I want that kind of power. Because you're round up on in a violent nature, fucking snoring hell, mate. I feel like I deserve the button just as much as you do.
I'm going to find a way that I can give you access to a soundboard as well. I haven't worked out how to do it yet. I'm working.
I would click the shit out of that so early on as well, and you know it. Right, okay, right. So, Immaculate. Good movie, bad movie. Very contrasting. The actress, Sydney Sweeney, elevates herself to so many levels that I didn't expect to see from her. She was fantastic. the implication of jump scares so early on is just fucking weird, man. I don't know why they did that Rocky montage shit that they did.
No, I'm with you on that.
It should have been sprinkled throughout, and I feel like it would have made the entire movie itself so much more impactful. I personally didn't get the whole Jurassic Park, Jesus Christ, DNA thing. I was coming at this movie from a perspective of especially with the character introductions of she was a runaway, the girl who wasn't fleshed out enough. I was like, yeah, Sydney Sweeney's going to have that, and she's been keeping the cards close to her chest, and she's going to be like, yeah, I've come from a bad relationship or a domestic relationship. I didn't realize I was pregnant coming in, and then they'd all just jumped aboard the bandwagon thinking because she denied it so much that this was a whole much better route to take this movie in. Much better route to take it in. Pissed me off so much that during those flashbacks and the jump scare scenes that we get introduced to all this cult angle. I think cult angle's the right way. We get all these like women and nuns in red faces and cloaks and stuff, and I wanted to see so much more of that, but it's
the
not.
The church is a cult. Like, it works. Like the cult.
Oh yeah, the entire church itself is a cult. No denying that. But the point is like they show it in a way where we don't actually get to see that throughout the movie. You know, like they implement in the case where we're going to get this big grand reveal. We're going to get this big cultist movement segment, but it doesn't. It just falls upon this singular priest, who, by the way, is a fantastic actor.
Really
and
good.
The two of them together with Sydney Sweeney, fucking gold. But I feel like there's a moment during production where they realized that and was like, oh, actually, do you know what? These two actually are what's really holding attention. So we're going to scrap the rest of the stuff that we built up in the first 20 minutes and just go down a standardized route. And that's what this movie is. It's very standardized. And the shame is that it builds it up to be something so much more, and it never comes to fruition. I think casting-wise, great. I have no issues with the casting. Cinematography-wise and direction-wise, certainly not. I think they both do a fantastic job of fucking making this movie look as beautiful as it possibly can do. In terms of exorcism movies that deal with stuff like the Vatican and nuns and the whole possession type of thing, this is probably one of the most beautiful movies I've watched in terms of using cinematography and the set design and the landscape that's available to them. It looks fucking brilliant. My problem lies solely with the story. And that's what makes this movie fall apart. And I think that's what's most disappointing about it overall, is the fact that it has so much potential to be. Oh, man, I don't want to be like, oh, this could be as good as The Exorcist. But in terms of dealing with subject matter,
it could be.
It could be, yeah. The potential was there for it, and the setup was there for it. And there was so much more that I feel like this movie had to offer, that they just got to a certain point where they just fell into standardized tropes. And they just went with, right, we need to wrap this up now, so let's just go with this is convenient. Yeah, we'll just do that, and we'll just tie the bow on it there. And that's a shame, man. That's a massive shame in my opinion, because I feel like the story itself is so much more worthy of excessive development and so much more. Like this is a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, this could have easily been 2 hours.
2 hours, easy.
The development.
Yeah, this could have been a 2-hour movie. Could have been more fleshed out, more developed, more character involvement in terms of people outside of Sydney Sweeney and the priest.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It's a shame. And I think that's why I'm so pissed off about this movie as a whole. Because as a cinema goer, if I went to watch this with a group of friends, chewing down on popcorn and just going there for the good times, I'd have walked away from it thinking it was fucking awesome and I'd have enjoyed my experience wholeheartedly. But watching this at home and trying to fucking dissect everything that comes with it, I was pissed off, man. By the time we got to the end, I felt underwhelmed, and I feel like that's all I can really say regarding Immaculate is underwhelmed. Okay. So for me, this movie is a 2 out of 5.
Okay, and you didn't get the button. Look at that.
Thank you.
I'll save the button for another day. I watched this when it came out. I watched it in the cinema. I absolutely loved it. I loved the dark, eerie tone. I loved the way it was shot. I liked the grounded approach they took in the reveal that it's not a demon. It's just some mad scientist. I thought that was really cool. acting across the board is pretty solid. Sydney Sweeney is the fucking standout by a country mile. She done things in this movie I didn't think she was capable of, and she, for me, cemented herself as a brilliant actress. All that being said, on this rewatch, I don't think it's this film necessarily. I think it's the problem with this film is it's forgettable. And that's not the fault of the film. That's the fault of all of the other movies that do exactly the same thing, that all come out around the same time. You had The First Omen, you had Apartment 7A, you had Deliver Us, you had this, like all within that short period of time. And I've watched them all, and they're all the same version of the same story, and they all kind of blend into one in my head. And because of that, they all lose their impact. Like, had this come out in 2014 when Sydney Sweeney first auditioned, and there's nothing else like this at the time, this would have been a fucking massive movie. But being released the same week as The First Omen, it just got lost in the shuffle. It's still a good movie, but it's not as good as I initially thought. And I'm surprising myself this week. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. And when I first watched this was up there with my movies of the year when I first watched it. So it's a big down step. And I know the film actually deserves more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's hard not to ignore the faults, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm the same as you. Like, there is so much about this that I appreciate. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, no, you failed. Like, that could have been better. Like, you had potential.
In the cinema, this was great, and like jump scares in the cinema for this was like,
boom! Oh man, as a cinema going experience, this is fucking perfect. This is this is popcorn cannon fodder. Do you know what I mean? It is that. But it's a shame, man. Do you know what I mean? Like I just feel like it could have been better.
Yeah,
there's so much about it that could have excelled it.
Yeah, and I agree, which is nice. It's nice for us to agree after last week. We're on the same page. Next week, we enter a whole new month on a whole new theme, and it's creature features. And this is something we need to thank Marc for, because Marc was it's my month, it's creature feature month. Fuck you, we're doing creature features. And I'll be honest, I'm so excited. So next week, get ready for bad weather, flooding, Florida man behavior, as we get you to watch 2019's Crawl in preparation for us to review it. Oh, next week. I've got so much to say next week.
Oh, fucking Crawl, man. Crawl. I can't even. We'll wait for next week, but I can't even wait with that movie.
But until next time, may the Holy Ghost be with you. God bless, and good night.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
You want to die tonight?
Jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. Thank you for taking us on this chilling ride, when nightmares roll free and comedy collide. With your podcast we laugh and cringe, but your content is so good we can't help but binge. You run
Look at that titty, though.